Damen und Herren, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In the next 20 minutes or so, I will share with you some of the experiences we as Belgian community pharmacists have had with Aegate. My name is Jan Sabels, I'm a pharmacist and I'm currently working as a scientific director with APB. APB is the association, the National Federation of Local Pharmacy Associations. You see the names in Dutch and in French. Unfortunately, we don't have the equivalent in the German language. We represent more than 90% of independent community pharmacies, which means more than 80% of total community pharmacies in Belgium. For your information, there are a little less than 5,000 community pharmacies and 4,200 of them are our members. Our role, as you can see in our brand promise, is to support, develop and promote community pharmacies' added value to the benefit of the patient's health. This is a very general, a very global approach, covering many aspects, legal aspects, scientific aspects, lobbying aspects, reimbursement aspects. And to do that, we have a lot of specialists working in-house. We have a staff of about 120, and we are Brussels-based. Brussels being the capital of Belgium, but not just of Belgium. There are a lot of European things happening in Brussels as well. This is an aerial view I stole from Dr. Google, giving in some buildings in the European neighborhood in Brussels. The big building in the left upper corner is one of the major buildings of the European Commission. Just across the street, you will see a building of the European Council, where today and tomorrow all your European leaders are gathering, as they do nowadays almost every month. European Parliament is just a few hundred meters down the road, and we, as APB, we have these premises, giving in Stevensstraße and Archimedesstraße. So very close to where it happens in Belgium, which is a very fortunate position we're occupying in Brussels, Belgium's capital and Europe's capital. This is the outline of my talk for today. I will tell you about Belgium pioneered packed serialization of pharmaceuticals, why APB entered into a collaboration with Aegate, how we collaborate, and I will share with you some experiences had over the last 7 years. Medicines pack serialization, the sword of Damocles hanging over all the member states who do not have this yet. As I told you, we've had it since a number of years. It started back in 2004. And this is how medicines packs typically look like in Belgium. On the left side of the screen, it's an OTC product with a product code, which is a 7-digit, well actually it's 6 digits plus a check digit, being typical a number representing the product, the active principle, dosage, formulation, number of units, manufacturer, brand name. And it just translated into a linear old school barcode. There's no more information than just this product code. But then in 2004, Belgian legislature made pack serialization compulsory for all reimbursed medicines. And on the box itself, it still looks like the product, the box, the pack shot you see on the right, just a 16-digit linear number. First 7 digits are still this product code. We have other products, and then a randomized serial number, which is typical for the box itself. So why, back in 2004, way before we talked about FMD, the Belgian legislature wanted this pack serialization. It was actually a measure against reimbursement fraud. Apparently, some pharmacies were filing for reimbursement packs they didn't have dispensed, or packs they filed for reimbursement more than once. Government calculated that this might have contributed to 6 million euros of costs that could have been prevented. So that's why authorities obliged manufacturers of reimbursed products to put a unique number on each pack. They obliged manufacturers to send these unique numbers to the reimbursement authorities, and then when pharmacists were filing for reimbursement packs they dispensed, they sent the unique number so the authorities could check that each pack was only reimbursed once. That's a theory. In practice, this 6 million saving on reimbursement has never been proven. But still, we have the system, we have for reimbursed packs since 2004 serial codes, and it might open opportunities. So why did APB enter into a collaboration with Aegate? To completely understand this, we should go back to some basic roles and mission of us as a pharmacy association and our focus on quality and safety. Belgium is a small country, we have some particularities, and one of the particularities is that Belgian community pharmacies are responsible for the quality of each product they dispense. And for products they prepare themselves, might come naturally, but what's less natural is that they have responsibilities as far as quality is concerned for all branded products they dispense to the patient. If there's a problem with the quality of a product, the patient turns, first of all, to his pharmacist, and the pharmacist has responsibilities vis-à-vis the patient. In order to guarantee this quality, pharmacists are obliged by law to check the quality of each product they dispense to the patient. And we're not just talking about visual inspection, which I suppose all European pharmacists are doing, but really quality checking them for content, for stability, for regulated substances, for the most recent patient leaflet and all these things. In order to do that, because pharmacists individually they can't do that, they have mandated a medicines control laboratory owned by APB and managed by APB with the local authorities to do this quality checking for them. So all medicines on the Belgian market are quality checked by this medicine control laboratory. Whenever there's a problem with a product, the same laboratory, operated by APB, recalls products, batches, specific boxes from the market by centralized procedures affecting all community pharmacies, hospital pharmacies, and wholesalers. And just for a few numbers, in 2014, more than 130 batches of 45 different products were affected by that. Some have had real serious health problems, quality problems, other more administrative problems, and some of them concerned products which were recalled from the market because, for instance, European authorities gave negative advice on these products. This medicines control laboratory has been operational since 1952. Lots have happened since then, and when APB and Aegate first started talking in 2006, way before FMD, we quickly identified together opportunities to add extra layers of patient safety, not just upstream in the laboratory with the manufacturers, but really at the point of dispensing, where it all matters. Because the pharmacist is the last person who handles the medicine before it reaches the patient. And these are just 4 examples of what I call extra layers of patient safety. And you will see that authentication is only the fourth one. The first three I will start with them. Recall warnings. As I explained, if the Medicines Control Laboratory finds batches or products that should be recalled, these batches or these products are identified and a communication is sent to all pharmacies. Back in the 1950s, a letter was sent and put in the mailbox. Then it was our weekly magazine. Then we published on the website. We're sending emails for a number of years, email alerts. But still, all these classical communication channels do not prevent that recalled products, substandard products, still reach the patient. And that's mainly because of two reasons. There's a time lapse between the decision of a recall and the message reaching the patient, the pharmacist. Pharmacist doesn't read his emails all day. He has other things to do. And even if he's read the email, maybe at that time he didn't have the time to go over his shelves and take the products out of stock and send them back. That's a nice thing about the Aegate channel. It makes it possible to start recalling products the moment the decision is made. This is a very important aspect to talk to the pharmacist at the moment he has a product in his hands where he's about to dispense it to the patient. The pharmacist is stopped by doing that. And the way it's using the Aegate channel, reading the codes that are on the boxes, and then typically the pharmacist will get a message like this one. He will get this message within a few minutes after the decision of a recall is taken. And this is a pop-up screen with an old layout, excuse me for that, of products that were recalled from the market. It's old layout, and you can see that this is not something we are pioneering today. This is something we pioneered and tested back in 2008. This is actually a message of 2010, and ever since we are running these recalling messages in all the Aegate-enabled pharmacies in Belgium. Expiration date warnings. As you have seen in the pack shots, we still have old school linear barcodes with very few information. Of course, we will migrate to other solutions with the FMD coming to practice. But there's no machine readable expiry dates. So in order to do good stock control, inventory control, pharmacists have to check them visually and input it somewhere, which is time consuming, costs money, it's prone to error, so we don't like that. The nice thing about the Aegate channel, and quickly we identified this opportunity for our market, is that if the manufacturer knows the link between the unique product codes, the batch number, and the expiry date. So as soon as the product codes, the serialized numbers, are uploaded in the database, if the pharmacist scans the product when taking in or taking out, automatically from the Aegate database, the expiry date is loaded. This is very interesting for pharmacists using the system, that it can actually read these expiry dates from the Aegate database. And I will show you in some examples that this really happens. It's the Aegate channel alerts pharmacists which are about to dispense expired products. Patient counseling messages. We as a pharmacy association will really invest tremendously in developing the role of the community pharmacist as a counselor of his patient, as giving better information, providing pharmaceutical care, providing pharmaceutical services. And one way to do this is providing him with information. We have a database called Delphi Care, which is integrated in the dispensing softwares, where pharmacists can find all kinds of information related to the products. Not just price information, but also scientific information. And even clinical decision support, whenever the pharmacist is dispensing products which interacts with each other. He's alerted for that. But still, we have some problems with that. It's impossible with this database to communicate in real time. And this is the nice things about Aegate. When we were talking to the people from Aegate back in 2008, that, yeah, well, let's try to use the Aegate channel to do things we cannot do with our own tools. Real-time communication, giving information about a product the moment the pharmacist dispensing it is handing over the counter to the patient. Just giving information is one thing, but communicating in two ways. Communicating to the patient, communicating to Aegate, communicating to the manufacturer are other possibilities. And this is an example of a screen, it's more recent, this one, of a product with rather complex administration. It's an injector that pharmacists dispense. And just giving this information can link to a video of how the product works. You can print out some information, send by email to the patient. You can tick a box and ask the company to have a dummy injector just for education purposes. So this is a really nice feature to have this information and communication. And last, but certainly not the least, partnering up with Aegate very early in the process gave us the opportunity to stand for pharmacists, because we didn't want systems that increased the cost for pharmacists or which interfered with the workflow of the pharmacist. And Aegate really quickly understood these very important points for community pharmacists. Pioneering work has been done 2008, 2009. Community pharmacies in Belgium, more than 50% of them, are using for years and years this authentication services. And we really serve as a role model when we go talk to the national stakeholders. You see from left to right, we have the National Drug Regulatory Authority. We have Pharma.be, which is the national FPA, if you can call it. You have Febelgen, which is the national EGA, and OFACO, which is the Federation of the non-APB pharmacies, the chain pharmacies. How do we work together, Aegate and APB? For a number of different aspects. First of all, we as an association have direct access to the Aegate interface. We code information in the interface that helps pharmacists getting the right message on the right products. For instance, recalls. We are at the, we initiate the recalls. We input the information in the Aegate system the moment the decision for a recall is made. So that the next second a pharmacist scans a product, he gets the alert that the product is substandard and shouldn't be dispensed to the patient. Also new product information. With our own product database, we have a delay in getting recent information to the patient for a number of reasons. If there's important information on a new product which enters the market, scientific information, other information, we can use the Aegate channel to have in a split second the information with the pharmacist, so pharmacist is never obliged to dispense a product without some extra information. These counseling messages on product information, on adherence, on good use of the product, we create them, but some of the messages are coming from industry because they know their products best. They know what product is necessary for the pharmacist to give to the patient. That's why Aegate offered the opportunity to the pharma industry to have messages on certain products. Not just any messages. For our market, we didn't want commercial messages, but as an association we negotiated that with Aegate. If in your market commercial messages are more accepted, then might be a possibility. Just discuss this with these people. So what we arranged with Aegate is that all messages coming for industry are first screened by a panel of 20 community pharmacists which are using the system. A panel that screens the messages for, is this message really necessary? Is it adding value? Can I find this information somewhere else? There are a few parameters the panel is using and advising Aegate and the industry to have only top quality messages. And we made a few mistakes in the early days, but we've paid the learning fees, and now for over 5 or 6 years, all the messages that are coming on are really appreciated by the pharmacist. We get monthly reports to follow the implementation, to follow the activity of pharmacists using the Aegate channel. This is a recent one. I'm not sure what month it was, but look at the numbers. Almost 2,500 pharmacists actively scanning, and this number has been quite stable for a number of years. So this is not just a pilot with 200 or 300 pharmacies. This is really thousands of pharmacies on a daily basis using the system. Some other numbers we're getting on the number of products in the database, but what's more important for me, that's the numbers I always look at when I get this monthly reporting, is what did the Aegate system prevent in terms of quality, in terms of safety. And when we look at the numbers, we can see that there's hundreds of packs being stopped by the Aegate system which were about to reach the patient. Packs that were recalled, packs that were expired, or packs that were almost being expired. So this is really showing that apart from the FMD, apart from the authentication, these extra services, extra information in the Aegate interface is really helping patients. It's really helping pharmacists. And then a critical success factor, if you ask me, the response time. We're all in a hurry. We don't wish that another system interferes with our way of working. Back in the old days, 2006, we had response times of almost half a second. And then, as more and more pharmacies came on the system, response times only went down. So I'm not an expert. I'm not sure how Aegate managed to do all this. But the important thing is that for years and years now, we have response times of about 200 milliseconds, which is too fast to be noticed by a pharmacist. So this is very crucial statistics. Then we have, as an association with a number of community pharmacists, we have quarterly meetings with Aegate, where we talk about feedback we get from our members, where we get from Aegate some feedback on the FMD, on the delegated acts, on the stakeholder positions. We do communications to pharmacies together, and we shape together future projects, future services, future activities. It's very important that we get this opportunity as an association to shape the interface, to shape the product as we wish it to be for our community pharmacies. Experience, this is just 1 or 2 slides to show the way we've arranged ourselves with Aegate to handle certain events. A multiple scan event is typically an event where a unique code is scanned more than once, making the code not unique, but the code is coming back in the same pharmacy or in other pharmacies. And then we have a whole procedure or how to go through with this, but the best way to show this procedure is by an example, a quite recent one. This is the end of last year, where there was a multiple scan alert on the system, a unique number, which turned out to be not very unique, which might give an indication of this might be a problem with this product. It was being scanned on the same day, the first few hours of the working day, between 9 and 10 in the morning, in 5 different pharmacies. So that's the red buzzer going off with Aegate. They started investigating. They contacted APB, they contacted the manufacturer, and very soon the manufacturer was very happy to have this information and they investigated, and it seems that the same badge, it was a genuine badge, but it was all labeled with the same unique number, same number, which was not unique because all the packs in the badge had the same number. Then it was discussed between the Pharmacy Association, with the reimbursement authorities, with Aegate and the manufacturer, what would be the best option to do so. And then measures was taken. Manufacturer, the not commissioned products were relabeled. The ones which were already dispensed could stay dispensed. There was no quality problem with them. So all this was managed within the day. By the end of the day, it was the issue was resolved. Whereas without the Aegate system, it would have taken 2 months before reimbursement authorities noticing that dozens or hundreds of pharmacies were all filing for reimbursement the same number. And that could have had major impact on the pharmacies, not getting reimbursed, on the manufacturer, and on the system as a whole. This is one of the numbers you saw in the table, 815 recalled packs, which were stopped by the Aegate system. If it wasn't for the Aegate system, these 800 packs could have reached the patient, possibly causing harm to the patient. Shaping project services together brought us to public health campaigns. We've run for a number of years with Aegate. We've run them on flu vaccination, we've run them on compliance, we've run them on antibiotic awareness, and this is just an example of messaging we do around the European Antibiotic Awareness Day, which is, I think, the end of November. On that day, or within a week, I think, we ran a campaign and we informed pharmacists by mail, by a website, by publishing articles. But what we really wanted to do is, when the moment a pharmacist dispenses an antibiotic, to give some extra information. Actually, it was stickers, labels you had to put on the box. It was part of the campaign. To make sure pharmacists were following this campaign, we had for a number of days this message: you're scanning an antibiotic, please do not forget, we're running the campaign this week, just put a label on the box and give the information to the patient. Using the image that national authorities were using that week on TV spots. So we have this synergy of elements, people looking in the street, seeing the image, and getting these pharmacists to give the same message. As a conclusion, from the beginning, APB definitely supports the Aegate system because it doesn't impact the workflow of the pharmacist. This is very important. And I suggest for your market, you go talk to Aegate to together identify the right place, the right person, the right moment to have the integration, to do the authentication, to add other services. They're the specialists, they can help you to identify that moment. It needs to be fast. People do not want to do extra things. So for us as a Belgian community pharmacy, free of charge for the members, for the pharmacists, need I say more? It brings added value. For our market was recall warnings, expiry date warnings, counseling messages, public health campaigns. Those were the things that definitely in a pre-FMD period were very important to have pharmacists eager for the system. And at last, the simplest system, user-friendly, flexible. If you have any doubts, talk to Aegate, they will convince you of it, but still effectively increasing the safety of all our patients. Thank you very much for your attention.